Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you today? Uh, Still smiling. Trying to, anyway. Kind of cool out there this morning. Uh, this weather is just nuts, isn't it? I'm not sure whether I'm going to make this a barn chat or a addition to the GMO series. It does deal with farm economy more than anything else. And so, it would apply to both. But if I do make it a GMO, then I'll go ahead and do up a barn chat later this afternoon because I'm going to be getting on those on a regular basis for you folks. Uh, anyway, got some information, new magazine in the mail to the farm dealers, and it was just article after article after article of news that if you, no matter how hard you tried to put a good spin on it, didn't look good. Okay. And one of the articles, this one was titled Evidence of Credit Concerns Mounting Among Lenders. Basically, even two of the Federal Reserves are warning banks. The one in Kansas and Kansas City and the one in Chicago, that ag loans are a little iffy. Well, that's going to back banks off of agricultural loans. Uh, Apparently, you know, the repayments of loans from 2016 or 2015 was not had just not happened the way they expected. And the in 2016 and now heading into 2017, the amount of loans being requested has dramatically increased. Banks view those two things as not a good sign that an industry is doing well, and with just cause. Okay, so I got through that whole article thinking, okay, well, so the bankers are having headaches, and as I flipped through the magazine, I started running across um, some ads on, or some articles. I'm trying to find the doggone thing right now. Of what's going on out there. Now, one of the things that they're talking about is, oh boy, the farmers are getting away from, are backing away a little bit from corn. Still a lot of corn being planted, but they're backing away from it. The old supply, demand, cheap prices. And now these economists are saying this is the new norm for the American farm. $3 a bushel. You can't make money growing a GMO crop at $3 a bushel. It's going to happen. Organic farmers, on the other hand, the ones that are selling the USDA certified organic corn, they're getting about $9 a bushel. Okay. And their input costs are down. And for some of you folks just joining us, the input costs are the cost it comes out of the farmer's pocket to put that crop out there in the field. Okay? Fertilizers, herbicides, seed, all that kind of stuff. And input costs for GMO crops are just continuing to rise. I mean, as bad of a year as they've had, they actually went ahead and increased the price of GMO seed again. Yeah, isn't that great? Monsanto's doing very well. Kind of reminds me of the old story that back during the gold rush days up in Alaska, when it was all said and done, the people that made the big bucks was not the miners. It was the people that was selling them shovels. Okay. They're the ones that did really good. The folks down in the merchants in Seattle were cleaning up. Pretty much what's going on here today. It's not the farmer making the money, folks. It's the biotech companies. Yeah. Everybody else is taking it on the chin. Fertilizer companies, so forth, they're having to drop prices just to get people to buy it. And that's going to affect the quality of your food. Okay, because a lot of cutbacks are being made in fertilizers. So, and now this precision ag. I love that stuff. Man, they use satellites and soil samples and, just yada, 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 all kinds of high-tech stuff, yields and monitoring and things of this nature to tell the farmer how he can cut his input costs. And basically, they've got these variable speed drive planters that you drive along your field, and you may have 3, 4 different kinds of corn on that planter. Yeah, ranging in price from $150 a bag to $500 a bag. But they're all set in different bins. And in certain sections of your field that they can grow, they'll plant the cheap stuff. And in other sections that are just kind of borderline, they plant a little better grade. And in your really bad soil, they go up. And so you got 4 or 5 varieties of corn out there, uh, you know, and the farmer is paying a small fortune for that, all in the name of yields. And right now, there's not a market out there for your corn. And all it's going to take is one shipment into some of these countries using that new 2,4-D Roundup mixture herbicide, and your market's going to disappear altogether. No other country's allowing that stuff. And the first time it gets mixed in with our grain and shipped overseas, they're going to ban it. Ban it. And only about 40% of our corn is consumed here in this country. So you're going to lose 60% of your market. What do you think that's going to do to the price of corn when you got this huge supply and way low demand? You'd be doing good to pay for the diesel it took to plant it. Not good news. And all these experts are talking about that right now. Not so much the reasons why, but in one of the articles, and I got the biggest kick out of this. Well, before I go on to that, let me tell you what also is going on. So everybody's switching over into soybean. Okay? Yeah, soybean. Yeah, we're going to get. And you'll hear Monsanto and these clowns, oh, our soybean protein level per acre is way up here. It's right up there. It's great. The only problem is most of that's sold worldwide. And the people that are buying it make soybean meal from it. They're not interested in your protein per acre. They're interested in protein per pound. More or less, how much protein's actually in that seed? How much protein's in that bean? We're way down. And going down every year. As the soil quality disintegrates, this GMO stuff, they keep playing with that. The quality of the protein in our soybean in this country has been diminishing over the last 3, 4 years. Yeah. Okay. So now you have the American farmer out there going to go great gonzos with planting soybean because it's selling for more money last year. Has nobody got the sense that the good Lord gave a crowbar to say if 88 million additional acres are going to be put into soybean production? What do you think that's going to do to the old supply and demand scale? Okay? Supply is going up. You got your demand here. Going to reduce the price of soybean. That simple. And since the U.S. is kind of falling off in the quality of their soybean, ours is going to be the last sold, guys. Everybody's going to be buying from countries who produce high protein soybean first, buying up those stocks. Then they're going to come looking for what's left. American farmer needs to wake up. Okay? Then you have the economists who are looking at the whole thing. And here's what those boys are basically saying. 2015 was bad for farmers. 2016 was bad for farmers. Now we have to look ahead to 2017, and they expect the economy, the farm economy, to grow even worse. But they're not even talking about 2017 anymore, folks. They're warning you about 2018. Yeah, they know what's coming. Our corn crops are going to get banned. We're headed right at it. It's that big light at the end of the tunnel, which happens to be a fast-moving freight train, and you're standing on the track. Okay? Nobody else has approved this 2,4-D Roundup mixture herbicide. No other country's approved it. So let somebody ship some of it to them by mistake or whatever. And when they're checking those samples at the port and they stumble across it, we are done with corn exports. Okay, it's over. Same thing with your soybean. Think about that one. U.S. uses not a huge quantity of that soybean crop. It's mostly exported. What do you think is going to happen when that supply is up here and that demand goes, woof? You're done. Big ag can survive it because they got little tax write-offs and so forth they can get away with. And you're still subsidizing big ag, by the way. It's a small farmer that they could give a hoot about. Uh, but here's where you're at with the whole thing. 2,4-D Roundup mix could destroy our grain markets. Period. Could destroy. Farmers' fields are deteriorating in conditions, causing them to have to spend more and more for the traits and seed coatings that you're putting on the stuff. It's killing them. And all the economists and banks, and I mean, when the Federal Reserve goes, you're a bad risk in agriculture, we're standing at death's door here, folks, and you better wake up. And for you as consumers, you let agriculture go down by buying this GMO nonsense, okay? You're going to pay the price. Because when the farmer's gone, if you think for 30 seconds Monsanto and Syngenta and all these guys are going to give up their money, you're wrong. They're going to pass it right to you. You're going to see the prices in the grocery store go right through the roof. Yeah. Because you're going to be dealing with the factory farms probably owned by these very same corporations. And if you think that they're not going to pass all that cost off on you, the heck with the commodities market, because they will be the market. You're done. You'll watch your grocery bills start going up by 40% a year, if not more. The initial shock will be more. Better wake up, folks. As far as the farmers go, everything that these experts are saying, you got a gun at your head with 6 cylinders and one bullet, and you've already clicked off 4 rounds. You're playing Russian roulette right now. Like I said, yields are everything, right? Isn't that what they keep telling you? The heck they are. Common sense. Organic, you make money. You as farmers make money. They don't want to tell you that. All right? Because if you can turn your land around, you better get with it. If you can't turn it all around right now, you better start setting aside a portion because that may be your income in the near future. Yeah. Because when they start banning our crops because of this 2,4-D Roundup combination, you're not going to have a market, man. You're not going to have a market. And if the people out there get smart and quit buying this nonsense, stop buying this nonsense, you can bring this to a close. If you don't bring it to a close, pretty soon, folks, that's all you're going to have the choice of, because that's what they're out to do. They're out to control your food. Because once they control your food, they've enslaved you. You make $1,000 a month, okay, well, they're going to charge you, $700 a month to feed you. What do you think it's going to do for you? Huh? So that's where they're headed with it. And the soybean, you guys are getting ready to screw up the soybean market too. You done it with the corn. Now we're working on the soybean. Cotton, I'm sure, is next. Wheat. Wake up, America. Wake up. These are ag experts, and they're saying by 2018, it's really going to get tough. Lord, farmers are going belly up all over this nation right now because of 2015 and 2016. 2017 is going to be worse, and 2018 It's going to be the farm apocalypse in 2018 is what they're forecasting. They know what's going on. Okay? They're paying close attention. And I don't care if they gave you 300% yields on your soybean. Increased it by 300%. If you don't have a market for it, you're not going to sell your product. And right now, soybean and the demand are pretty close. What happens with this big increase in supply? Well, price goes down. It's just that simple. You cut your own throats. Time to wise up. Get off this stuff. Get back onto organic growing. Get certified, because there's a market for it. And that market is growing. And farmers are beginning to catch on to that. The smart ones. The other ones who just keep doing what they're doing, they're going to pay the price. And, while there's a part of me that feels very sad every time I see a farm go up on auction, there's a part of me that also just thinks, well, self-inflicted wounds, my friend. Greed motivated you. And greed did you in. Keep that sort of stuff in mind. But all of them are calling for it. Even the Federal Reserve goes, you're a bad risk as a farmer. They know what's coming. They've approved this stuff. Now, will Donald Trump help? Maybe. Maybe not. Right now, I'm sure agriculture is so far down on the bottom of his plate, he's not overly concerned. Think about it a little bit, folks. You as consumers, roll up your sleeves. Start buying fresh. Buy organic. Let's bring this GMO's nonsense to a close before we have a catastrophe out here of biblical proportions because something went wrong. We're headed toward it. Let's not get in the middle of it. As written, Tennessee Homestead. I'll probably put this under the GMOs because it's kind of a video. And God bless you, but please wake up. Because if you don't, your children and grandchildren aren't going to have an option. Okay? They'll lose their choices. They'll have to live with what they got. God bless you. And hope you're having a great week. And we'll talk to you soon.